Hey Mega fans, and welcome once again to the official Get Me Off the Moon Echo Team podcast. My name is Skypane0, I'm from the Get Me Off the Moon Echo Team, and with me here today is...
Hi there guys, my name's Tim. I'm one of the co-editors for the Echo Team podcast, and on Capcom Unity I go by the name of Tim.
My name is Laurent Terrell. I go by the name Zeta in the Devroom, and I'm in charge of contests and promotions for 100,000 Strong.
I'm Dash Troxton, and I've played almost every MegaMan Legends character in some YouTube production or other over the past whatever years.
Alright, and we actually have two special guests here with us today. Introducing...
This is Fab. I'm the webmaster of MegaMan Legends Station. You may know my various MegaMan Legends fan projects that I put out through the main gate.
And I'm Blyka. I've been making Mega Man fan games since 2004, and I put them all up on my website, Blyka's Door. That's pretty much my role in the community.
Alright, so before we get into our main topics of this podcast, how about you two start off by telling us how you were first introduced to the Legends series?
Well, if you don't know already, Blyka and I are brothers, so our stories are going to intertwine. We had already been Mega Man fans, Classic and X, since about 1993. So we were looking forward to Mega Man Legends as it was coming out and watching the video magazines for info at Toys R Us and stuff like that.
When it was Rockman Neo.
Yep.
Back in those days.
There's a couple of semi-interesting stories involved. I used to call Capcom customer service back then to get info on Mega Man games.
Oh wow, that's hardcore.
You used a real telephone?
Yes, I did.
We considered doing that a couple of times when we were kids as well. We didn't have fax back then, so... What else can you do?
So, at that time, there was Mega Man 8, Mega Man X4, and Mega Man Legends all in development. So I would call and ask about it, try to get progress updates from them. And at one point, I asked the guy, you know, there's these games coming out. Should I go for a Sega Saturn that's going to have Mega Man 8 and Mega Man X4? Or should I go for a PlayStation, which also has Mega Man Legends coming out? And I can't really remember the reasoning they gave me, but the guy recommended a Sega Saturn. If I had followed his advice, there would be no Mega Man Legends station, and my life would be very, very different right now.
Oh my god. That would have been horrible.
It would have been. You want to tell the rest of the story, Blyka?
Yeah, let's see, that was 1998. I was only 7 years old at the time. And, you know, throughout our childhoods, Fab had been the one, you know, to buy all of the Mega Man games and all of the gaming consoles and stuff, but he was saving up for a computer, his first computer at that time. So it suddenly fell on my shoulders to purchase the PlayStation and the following Mega Man games. So I got to save up for the PlayStation, and then I got Mega Man Legends. I guess that was pretty shortly after it came out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember we got it at Toys R Us. So yeah, that was my duty to get that, and as a result, I guess you don't have an English copy of Legends, right, Fab?
No, I don't. It's kind of humorous. I've got the PC version, Mega Man 64, I've got the Japanese version, I got the PAL version. I do not have an English copy of Mega Man Legends. Can you believe that?
But yeah, so we were just, you know, all series Mega Man fans back then, and we got it, and it was mind-blowingly awesome, and rest is history, I guess.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, that's very interesting. Well, thanks for the introduction.
Thanks for having us here.
Yeah. No problem. You two are cool.
Thank you, Sky.
Thank you.
Okay, well, how's about we get into our main topics now?
Alright.
Okay, let's get into our main topics then.
Alrighty.
Alright, so I understand that you two, Fab and Blyka, are currently working on a large-scale 3D Legends fan game called TUTTLE'S Legendary Travels. Can you tell us a bit about this game?
Well, as you said, large scale, we're hoping to make this similar to a full-scale Legends series entry with everything you'd expect from a full-scale Legends game, with that level of quality and, you know, all the different places you can go and all the things you can do. Anything to add to that, Blyka?
I don't think so. Pretty much just all the charm, all the content, pretty much everything.
Alright, second question. Tuttle was really just a minor NPC whom you encountered from time to time in the misadventures of Tron Bonne. Why did you choose to make him the main character for your game?
That's kind of a long story going back to 2006. I had begun working on my own original game. Up until then, I'd only done fan games, and it was going to be a top-down puzzle game, Sokoban sort of thing. And 2 years later, it got canceled for various reasons, but I already had an engine well in the works, with, the puzzles and stuff, and I thought it'd be cool to make a little Legends game out of this. And I started talking to Fab about who could be the star in it, or whatever, and, what can we do with this, and we both kind of have a history of all of our games have obscure heroes, and we do strange enemies or strange hero. We don't make a MegaMan star game. It's always something unique, something that Capcom would never do in a million years. So combine that, and it was just really small at the time, and we thought, why not? Tuttle's awesome. Let's do a Tuttle game.
Yeah, Tuttle is awesome.
Yes, he is. Very memorable character.
Yeah.
And like most projects do between us, it quickly became huge. It started as a little puzzle game with no story, and then became 5-island adventure, and it got really big. Then it really became too big, and we both kind of wanted to move on. I was in Game Maker and 2D, and Fab doesn't really like spriting that much. So we figured, we'd take it to 3D, and he kind of made it through the move to 3D because he uses a cane as his combat system, and that's really what we want in the engine that we're making is close range, not a shooter game, so he really works well for that. So yeah, he started as the little puzzle game obscure hero and just sort of made his way to the top there.
Well, that system sounds awesome.
I hope it will be.
So, you two are both incredibly skilled game creators who've completed several Legends fan games in the past. Now, completing a Legends fan game at all is kind of a big thing. If you look at Sky Pirate Arcade, most of them are yours. Judging from your past games and the progress videos which you put out for Tuttle's Legendary Travels, you two likely have the potential to undertake this whole project yourselves. Why then are you requesting the help of the fans?
For a number of reasons that all sort of intertwine. Most of our projects receive very little attention because instead of going out and talking about our games, we like to work on them and surprise people with results. So that's always the way we work, but for something this big, we really want people to enjoy it as it's being made, and we want it to get some recognition for a change. And so by bringing in the fans, that's one way that we hope to boost the interest and make it something that sticks more than the little games that we're usually busy making. You want to elaborate some more, Blyka?
Yeah, another reason, having the community involved, I think with a project this big, it would really boost our enthusiasm. We're very motivated and very excited about the project ourselves, but we usually are in a big project, and I think having the fans involved in it would make it a lot more fun and exciting. Instead of just working for weeks and nobody knows what we just accomplished, we can be telling people as we do it and getting feedback, and I think that could be a lot of fun, and seeing people's reactions and stuff.
Yeah. Show Capcom that it can be done right.
Yeah.
Or can be done.
The MegaMan Legends 3 Devroom really showed how many good ideas people have out there.
Yeah, definitely.
And when you see what sort of talent the community has, that would be a lot of fun to include in the game, and good ideas come from all over the place. And also, if we can bring in people to help, it can get the game done that much faster.
Which I'm sure we would all like very much.
So, it's kind of based off the Devroom then. Well, how close is it to the Devroom? Are you trying some interesting new things they haven't tried yet, or anything like that?
Well, we have a page on the site for anybody who wants to directly participate in the project can email us and say, I have such and such qualifications. The main way we're involving fans is, Devroom style events, which we have one going right now. It's going to be pretty close to what Capcom was doing. No denying they set a good example for how those things should...
While it lasted.
Yeah, while it lasted. Yeah, it worked well, so, and it got a lot of people into it, so... Yeah, that's basically the model we're following.
Awesome.
Congratulations, please stick with it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We intend to.
There's a lot of people who are skeptical about it, and that's, very understandable with a project this big being worked on by 2 main developers. But I'd like to say, I hope people can have some faith, because this, in addition to our track record of getting things done, we're starting a company, and we're going to be wanting to make our own commercial games in this company. And this engine that we're doing for Tuttle is the backbone of our main future product, so to speak. So if we were to cancel Tuttle, it would cancel that project, and we're not looking to do that. So, even on more than just the Legends fan aspect of it, it's a very important project to us for other matters in life, too. So we fully intend to finish it, even if it takes a very long time.
Yeah, right.
I've seen some people, very understandably, that are not expecting anything out of this, so I hope people can look forward to it and watch its progress as it goes.
Yep.
And you don't have a suit on your team, do you?
Oh, what?
Like, one of those corporate suits that sit around and go, no, we're canceling your project.
Do parents count? Joke.
You never know, I might submit an application to be a suit. That'd be interesting.
God, guys, don't let her. Don't let her.
No, we wouldn't even have to pay her. We just get her to yell at people.
I'm good at that.
A little too good at that.
Indeed. Hey, I have a question. Well, it's not really even important, but you said that Tuttle's going to be using the cane like close quarters combat as opposed to it being a shooter and whatnot. Like,
Right.
I was looking at some concept art for a Rush, and Rush at one point was supposed to be in MegaMan Legends too, and he had close quarters combat, but it was like a giant wrench that he uses in order to remove a master bolt on the Reaver bots. Yes, really.
No, I heard about Rush, but I didn't know they had that plan.
Yeah, they did at one point, but it got scrapped.
Weird.
Honestly, I could see that being used for, like, a parts scavenging thing.
Yeah, Rush kind of did that in the classic series, too. Well, not in that way, but...
Do you think that perhaps Tuttle will have some sort of wrench-based weapon that can remove Reaverbot's parts, or is it too early in development to tell?
That would definitely be interesting, but we kind of already planned out the special weapon system. It sounds really cool, but we're trying to keep the game at a reasonable scale that we can actually finish it, so we gotta keep cool ideas to a minimum, balance out what we can actually do with, what's feasible versus what's awesome, and so there will not be a wrench item, as cool as that sounds.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
It's okay, Laurent. It's okay.
Does Tuttle get a spotter?
He will sort of have a spotter.
I have my guesses of who you have planned for that.
Supply that person with a lot of ibuprofen.
What other NPC?
Well, who kind of acts as the spotter role?
Like Easter eggs sort of thing, or actual NPCs?
You opposed to that being mentioned here?
Go ahead.
He's not really going to have a spotter, but we're planning on bringing back a lot of the cast from the Misadventures of Trombone that you find in the Shalakun Ruins, the same group of diggers as Tuttle. And we're planning on having them here and about in the ruins that he can talk to and get tips on or advice or whatever. We think that'll be a neat way to have different characters, different personalities, and any spotter-like advice that you want, you don't have Roll shouting in your ear over it. It's optional if you want it. You can talk to him. If you don't want to talk to him, you don't have to talk to him.
Oh, that's
awesome. The plan right
Sounds
now.
refreshing.
It kind of reminds me of Dead Rising. What was the janitor? The guy who kept messaging you and you can easily just, ignore him, but then he ends up calling back anyways? It's Owen,
I've never
I think?
played that.
Oh. Well, it's a good idea to add the whole, do you actually want to listen to it? Because I was playing it recently, and Roll's voice does get a little...
Yeah, I think the spotter's kind of a neat idea, and it adds to the authenticity of it, but most of the time you don't want to listen, and they make you listen, so that's not very... Do you see a door?
Yeah.
It should be right in front of you.
There's a monster. Kill it. I know she doesn't say that, but...
door
MegaMan
is
is
right in
Reaverbot
front.
coming ahead. Oh no! My transmission's conveniently breaking. I guess you're on your own.
If you shoot it, it'll die.
Pizza.
If you shoot it, it eventually will die.
Attack the enemy's weak point for massive damage, Mega Man.
We could go on all night with this.
Yeah.
We'll have like 30 minutes of us just quoting all the stuff she could say. Alright, but back on topic though. Now, guys, what do you think Capcom's reaction of this is going to be like? Or are they aware of this project?
To our knowledge, they are not yet.
But do you think they'll have, like, when they did the podcast where they acknowledged 100,000 strong and they said, congratulations and so. Basically, what do you think their initial reaction is going to be? Because obviously this is going to build up some steam when it gets finished.
If they acknowledge it, I hope that they will look on it favorably. They usually do be pretty supportive of Mega Man fan game projects from what I've seen. But, yeah, most of the time they're pretty cool with that sort of thing. But I don't know. No way to tell if they'd say anything different about this.
Like with Press Start's fan game, Hunter Peck, I think it was called.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they acknowledged that game in the game club. Greg Man was saying it was pretty awesome.
Oh yeah, for the most part, Capcom seems to be cool with fan games, not just Mega Man fan games, but fan games in general.
Yeah.
I mean, for the most part, they're not really allowed to, like, officially support it. I remember reading somewhere that Sevenson said that they can't, like, officially support it, or they might actually lose their IP rights. But every once in a while, they'll mention a fan game on the blog and whatnot. And I mean, they even said that they are unlikely to act on fan games and whatnot.
Yeah.
Unless it's deliberately doing something illegal.
Like, just taking the entire Mega Man 8 and saying, yeah, this is actually Resident Evil cross Mega Man.
Well, actually, I believe Capcom of Japan released a Mega Man ROM hack on the PC. And they didn't even know. Yeah, I have to look it up. Don't quote me on that.
It sounds familiar.
Yeah, Capcom's extremely cool on that stuff. It just surprises me.
Well, it's all tribute. It's like the whole fan project. If anything, it kind of helps bring that sort of awareness to the actual titles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is like free advertising in a way.
So, assuming that everything goes fine with development, when do you see TUTTLE'S Legendary Travels being released?
I think it's really too early to guess at that. It's such a large-scale project. And things are actually pretty crazy in our lives right now. We're trying to start up a company, and our mother's going in for hip surgery, so we're going to be helping her a lot with that. But, yeah.
Things are going a lot faster than we anticipated. We kind of had to jump on the site launch. We wanted to launch that like back in March or something, and this year's just been really, really crazy busy. So we just, it's an hour never, so we get the site up, and it's really been taken off a lot faster than we thought, so that's a good thing. So, yeah, so we can't really say when it will be completed, far away from now. We will be releasing demos really frequently so that people have something to play around with. Something we're going to really try to do with this project is keep people in the loop, make a lot of tweets, blog posts, everything that we do, we'll try to keep everybody up to date on how the progress is going, and that's going to include demo releases. We don't usually release demos for our games, but in this case, we're going to be doing a lot more just basic, here's the base engine, have fun with it, make Tuttle run around, swing his cane, and, steps up from that. We want to release a lot of demos as we go.
Sweetness.
Nice. Yeah. Sounds great. Do you have anything else you'd like to add about TUTTLE'S Legendary Travels before we move on?
Well, I thought it would be sort of fun to give a small bit of exclusive information for the podcast. I won't say which, but we will be featuring more than one heroine design in this project.
Oh, wow.
Yes. I was kind of wondering why you guys chose the one that won the American Devroom voting.
Well, she was in second place, and she was hugely supported by the American fans.
I thought
that was due to a glitch, where they actually had her twice. Instead of having number 5 and number 6, they just had 2 number 6.
Well, okay, at any rate, I know in America she was probably the most supported.
Yeah, if not the most supported, then really close with number 5.
You remember the numbers?
Yes, I do. The girl with the yellow bunny ears, hers and Suetsugo's got merged.
Yeah.
I remember something like that, yeah.
So, did you happen to vote for that particular heroine? Is that why we saw her in the trailer, or...?
She wasn't my favorite, but I actually did vote for her because it looked like she had the best chance, and she was one of my favorites of them all. You liked her pretty good too, right, Blyka?
Yeah, she would have been my second choice.
Yeah, and she did seem like kind of a popular one, so we figured that couldn't hurt to help the game's image by having her in there as well.
I see.
Yeah, a lot of people seem happy about that choice.
They do. Actually, Blyka, her model viewer page is one of the most popular pages on the site, right?
Yeah, when the site launched, her model page was crazy. There were way more hits on it than practically everywhere else on the site.
Wow.
Yeah, I guess that was well received. Nobody cared about TUTTLE'S model, but yeah, everybody likes it.
They've seen him before.
It's probably because so little people play the Misadventures of Tron Bond
yeah.
that they don't recognize Tuttle.
Yeah, I'm
Oh my
sure.
god, it's Willy Wonka!
Yeah, seriously.
Well, they'll know him soon.
Yeah. Okay then, let's move on to the second topic. Okay, so there's been some controversy lately that Capcom's supposedly reusing some of the assets of the cancelled Legends 3 in their new 3DS game, EX Troopers. What are your guys' personal thoughts about this?
I really don't think that this is a rip-off, as some people are claiming it, of MegaMan Legends 3. Some people are saying that it's using the same engine, and I mean, that only makes sense, because Capcom basically, for all of their games, they use MT Framework. For their PS3 games and their 360 games, they use MT Framework 2. For their 3DS games and their PlayStation Vita games, they use MT Framework Mobile. So it makes sense that it's using the same engine. That's the way Capcom operates. All of their games use the same engines. So, I mean, is it using the same engine as Mega Man Legends? Yes, but every other 3DS game, like Resident Evil, is also using the same engine, so I don't really see that as a ripoff of Legends. Then people are claiming that the mechanics are kind of a ripoff of Mega Man Legends 3, and I kind of see what they're saying, but at the same time, a lot of those mechanics are common in third-person shooters. And EX Troopers is basically a anime spin-off of Lost Planet. So, I mean, to be honest with you, I'm seeing more Lost Planet in EX Troopers than I am Mega Man Legends. And the mechanics that I am seeing are very common throughout third-person shooters, so I'm really struggling to see the similarities between Mega Man Legends 3 and EX Troopers.
Right.
Some people are saying that some of the characters look a lot like the characters from Mega Man Legends. And the only one that I will say, without a doubt, certainly looks like they're from Mega Man Legends would be Grill. But
Yeah.
I've read some weird things on forums where people are saying that the main character from EX Troopers is nothing more than a male version of Arrow because the hair is pink. And I'm really not seeing that. But yeah, I really don't think it's a rep.
Yeah.
The only thing I could really see that was kind of similar was the character animations, but even then it kind of felt like the way Dead Rising had the Servbot stuff all over the place. Kind of felt more like that.
Yeah. Even myself, I don't really see much of a similarity either.
I'd know a Legends 3 prop if I saw one.
Yeah. I can see why some people think it, especially after seeing that video. And bear in mind, viewers, we all have watched that video, so these are completely unbiased opinions. But even after seeing that video, I didn't really see the similarities. Like, see them.
Yeah, it's kind of like, oh yeah, I see what you're saying, but I don't.
Yeah, I mean, I was trying to see them, and I just couldn't bring myself to, because they just didn't look like they were there to me. Except for Grill, with the exception of Grill, which I think is uncannily similar.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that Grill is a cameo or something. Like, they said that this game's been in development for some time. I'm thinking that maybe it was like cross-promotion for Legends a little bit. But I'm thinking it's just a cameo appearance.
Yeah, who knows? He could have been there before Legends 3 was cancelled.
Yeah.
it's a really similar design, but they're pretty generic. Spike of blonde hair and shaved around the sides, and he's a fat guy, so
Whoa, the same design!
it could just be a coincidence.
Yeah. And I mean, like, in the Famitsu reveal of EX Troopers, they didn't even mention Mega Man Legends at all. It was kind of funny. They mentioned Rival Schools, which is one of Capcom's older 3D fighting games. So I'm guessing that it's kind of like a Lost Planet game with teenagers. That's the way I pretty much see EX Troopers. I'm really not seeing the Legends inspiration.
Yeah.
There's another conspiracy theory, which I heard this before EX Troopers was even announced, but according to some people, MT Framework, which is Capcom's main engine, according to them, the MT in MT Framework stands for Mega Man Trigger. I've heard this quite a few times on Capcom Unity, and, it sounds nice. I'm like, sure, there's an M there, and there's a T over there. Mega Man Trigger? I mean, but at the same time, I'm like, wait a minute. Capcom's development teams, for the most part, are in Japan. Why would they use Mega Man?
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be Rockman? What do they call him in Japan?
I don't know what his name is in Trigger.
It was, I think, Rock and then Rockman. So he just got upgraded.
So we didn't have, like, a secondary name like Trigger?
I don't think he did, but I've never actually played the Japanese games.
Yeah, I know about the Rockman part, but I'm not sure about Trigger.
I think number 20 would know.
Yeah, number 20 is very knowledgeable about this sort of thing.
Wherever he is.
Well, I'm not at all familiar with Lost Planet, so when I look at it, I can't even say I see more Lost Planet than Legends 3 because I don't see Lost Planet. So, for me, it's really much easier to make the comparisons than a lot of people probably, and I just don't see it so much. The main thing that came to my mind when I saw people comparing it for the first time was just, yeah, okay, even if they are, does it matter so much?
Yeah.
If they are taking assets from Legends 3, what's really wrong with that? Maybe it's not even an executive decision, maybe it's the developers wanting to give us flashes of what we may have seen and won't now. I mean, who knows?
Yeah, people are much more willing to jump to the fact that Capcom's trolling than actually giving a tribute.
Yeah.
Some conspiracy theories say that Mega Man Legends 3 was cancelled for this game, but Seth Killing basically said that this was, what was his direct quote?
For what it's worth, I can tell you I played an early version of this game which was styled in the same way, and with what looks to be similar gameplay in Japan, well before the Legends project ran into trouble. It's definitely not a reskinned Legends. I've not played EX Troopers for quite a while, but once more details emerge about the gameplay, I think it will become clearer that this is the case. At the time I played it, the projects did not share members. Since the Mega Man Legends 3 team is now on other projects, it's conceivable some are working on this title, but that would be the extent of the overlap so far as I know.
Right.
So, basically you're saying that EX Troopers has been around for quite some time.
Could be the next video that comes out proves us all wrong and we see a lot more cameos and similarities.
Okay, you guys have anything else to add before I get the sign off here?
If you guys have any ideas for Neo Devroom events, or campaign ideas, or anything, please contact me on Capcom Unity. My screen name is Zeta. Or you can message the 100,000 Strong page. There's a message button right below Mega Man Walnut's foot. And if you prefer email, you can email 100,000 Strong at rockfallnut@ymail.com.
Or if you guys just want to message like one or two admins of the group, contact Score, also known as Ryan Showers, on Facebook, or even the Devroom. Or Matthew Paul, he's the creator of Get Me Off the Moon, and he'd be happy to help you. So I guess that's about it. Okay then. Well, thanks Blyka and Fab for coming on to the podcast today, and I'm looking forward to your fan game, as I'm sure many others are too.
Thanks so much for having us.
Thank you for having us. It's been fun.
So, until next time,
Legends never die!
Keep fighting the good fight. that concludes.
You kind of sound like Bond from the Misadventures of Trombone.
No, that
Sounds
was
different.
Blue from Blue's Clues.
Oh.
Oh yeah, just so you guys know, I actually did get my recording working. I looked at the counter one time during the podcast, and to my surprise, it was actually counting down.
Oh, so I've been doing this for... yeah.
Blackmail material.
That's right. But what the heck. I find some use to it.
Well, you never know.
We could just delete it.
Nah, I don't have any reason to blackmail anybody here.
Yeah.
Gonna
Give
make
me
this
your
recipe
lunch
continue
money,
talking.
Sid.
But all I have is 75 cents.
That'll do.
Get me chocolate milk. I hate regular milk.
Ba-ba-ba!